check it off the list. We are en route to the greatest airport on earth, BWI, Baltimore. That is a big sarcasm. If you ever flown BWI, there's not one kind, gentle, loving soul that works there. It's just true. Everybody at BWI is rude, nasty. I hate it. I hate BWI. It's probably, I've flown a lot in my life. BWI, as far as customer service, friendly, it is the most rude and depressing place. And it's the airport that I generally have to use every time. But we're going to Dallas. Big bucket list check off since I've been doing this. So this first part is a little bit of talking, so when this video comes out, fast forward if you want. I'm just going to talk about kind of how I got to go to Dallas and how it went down. So if you don't like hearing me ramble, fast forward. But back in June, I had really decided, hey, want to go to Dallas. Let's shoot for the September Dallas show. Football, which starts tonight, the Lions and the Chiefs. I was like, football weekend. Basketball starting to ramp up a little bit. I've had some basketball sales. Probably going to do a video on basketball, how bad it was last year. But basketball's ticked up. Baseball's starting to come to a close. We're starting to see the teams fight for the wild card spots. So it's a good time for like interest in sports cards and all that. The best months are upon us. And obviously everything that you hear, everything I've heard in my entire last few years, everybody you speak to, everybody. I've never once, not once, have heard somebody say that Dallas was a bad show. Either side, dealing, walking around. Never once. I've not heard one thing about the facility, the people, the deals, the dealers. I haven't heard anything bad. All I've heard is, however you got to do it, one day, rather sooner than later, you have to make it to Dallas. Whether a dealer or a buyer, you got to make it. So here's how it went down. June, I decided, hey, I'm going to really push to go to Dallas. I'm going to apply. So I went on the website, filled out the application, applied. Heard back, I think within 24 hours. It might have been the same day. I had to send a picture of my inventory. They basically said, hey, based on what kind of inventory you have is where we put you. Send the picture, send the application. I think the next day I hear back and they say, okay, we have a spot for you in July. Even though in my application I put I was only interested in the September show. I reply back, I'm like, hey, I can't do July. The July show was like right before the National. It's like, I can't do July. I want September. He's like, all right. He's like, something like, we'll let you know. We're kind of finishing up July, but we'll get back to you, whatever. So, side note, what I'm used to in card shows, and this is pretty much any card show that I've ever signed up for, big or small, when you sign up, you get some type of info, or even when you inquire, there's a flyer with pretty much your standard information. Tables, how big the tables are, how many you can get, how much they are, the address, the where you're going to be, just all your FAQs, your frequently asked questions, are usually on some type of sheet, website, something. Dallas, that's not the case. On their website, they have all the prices and times for when the show is and how much to enter, but there's not a lot of info about dealing. So he tells me $375 will reserve you a spot, and apparently there's different rooms. Again, keep in mind, I haven't done Dallas yet at all, so I don't know. So He says $375, but I don't know where you'll be. And I'm like, okay, well, how much, like, what is that going to get me? Like, I'm just going to pay you. Is it 8-foot table? Is it 6-foot table? Is it a space? Is it the big room? He says, I don't know. So I thought that was kind of odd. He said, just send the $375 and send it to this. He sent a second email to another guy. Now, granted, keep in mind, I did this through the Dallas website page. It seemed pretty legit. It's the card show page. I've always checked it. I'm like, man, this is weird. Like, I'm gonna pay a certain amount of money. I even asked, I said, is that for the weekend? Is that for one table? Just, we don't know. I'm like, all right, whatever. Big show, they know what they're doing. I in my head, $375, $400 seems pretty average for like a weekend big show. Chantilly, I think, is like $450 for like a 6x10. Whatever. So I'm like, all right, that sounds right if it's just one table. Send the money to this email that he sends me. About the next day or two, I don't hear anything. I email him. I say, hey, I sent you the money to reserve for July. Can you confirm? I don't hear from him. I email the guy I sent the money to. Hey, confirm that you got this. Nothing. 2 days after that, I get a refund from this email that I sent. Said, hey, I don't know what this money's for. Must be a mistake. I emailed the original guy back. Nothing. Dead silent. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So in my head, I think, all right, screw it. I'm not going to do Dallas. I don't know what happened. All communication lines stopped. I also messaged the Instagram page and I called the phone number. Didn't get no answer that was on the page. I was like, I don't know what to do. I got my money back. Screw it. I'm just not going to do Dallas. I'll maybe try another time. So I started looking at some other shows. So I found this other show in Columbus, Ohio, which is not this weekend, but next. So I signed up for that show. It's a 3-day show as well. I'm going to drive. It's supposed to be a really big show. One thing I did just find out about that show, which is another side note, is I saw someone post yesterday on Instagram that it's $25 to enter. If that's $25 a day or $25 for the weekend. So I have to get clarification on that. If it's $25 a day to go to a card show, that's going to turn a lot of people off. Because the comment on the post was like a vomit sign saying $25 to enter. So I didn't dive deep in if that's the cost every day, but that would suck. But that'll be for another story. So I signed up doing this show thinking like, all right, I'm not going to go to Dallas, so I'm traveling here, hotel, 5-hour drive, inventory, like, all right. Well, 2 days after that, I get an email from the guy at Dallas, and he's like, hey, sorry about the miscommunication. We have an opening for you for the July show. And I'm like, I just signed up for this Columbus show, which is a lot of travel and time. Now I got to decide if I want to take this last minute opportunity to do Dallas. Dallas, you don't pass that up. So I decide, all right, let's hopefully see if this time goes through. So I message him. Now it's $400. It was $375 a few months ago. Now it's $400. I don't really argue. I'm like, all right, tell me where to send it to this time. He says, you're going to get an invoice. I say, sign me up. I said, what's it for? He said, it's for an 8-foot table in the main room. I'm like, great. Main room, 8-foot table. Awesome. I don't know why I have to ask that stuff, but nothing was sent to me. So I sign up, tell him that. A few hours go by. I'm like, I message him again. I'm like, hey, sorry to be naggy, but like, are you sending the invoice. I want to reserve my spot. He tells me some woman's name is going to send me an invoice. I don't know who this woman is. I'm like, okay. Finally get this invoice. It's from the original guy that I originally sent the money to last time that said he didn't know what the money was for. So I send it again. This time I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be screwed. I'm going to pay this table fee. I've never done this before. I'm going to pay goods and services because I don't know what's going on. Like the communication, it was like pulling teeth to find out. So all I know is an 8-foot table and it's in the main room. I pay it. Dude, no confirmation to this day. I'm literally on my way to Baltimore right now. Never got an email. Never got a confirmation saying, hey, thank you for signing up with Dallas. Here's all the information you need to know. Nothing. So I don't know what setup time is. Granted, I'm not going to have a car down there. So I got to Uber back and forth to my hotel. The hotel at the convention center was already sold out, obviously. So I'm literally getting off the plane, going straight to the convention center. I'm going to have all my bags with me because it'll be 11 o'clock. All I know is that showtime is at 3. I imagine that they're doing all day. You can come in. So, as exciting as it is, I don't like the unknown part. Also, usually I have help or I set up with a buddy. This is the farthest that I've traveled for a card show, especially one that I'm setting up with. So I'm going to have all my luggage with me. I have no help. The one thing that sucks is something like this, I would love to walk around. I do know one guy that's coming that we're probably going to go get dinner one time. He lives in Houston. Maybe when he's walking around, he'll watch my table for an hour or two, or I'll let him put some stuff in my case. I don't know. So, we'll see. But we're doing it. I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous. The not knowing, like, vendor times, and I'm just imagining that obviously it's all day. If the show's at 3, it's got to be open all day. But usually you get some type of, hey, thank you. When you arrive, you're going to want to go to this center to pick up your badge. You're going to, only 2 badges per table, yada, yada, yada. You're going to be in the aisle, a map of where you're at. Nothing. Haven't heard jack shit. So I'm going in blind. But it is Dallas. So you kind of just go with it, I guess. We'll see. Will be an update. I'm sure everything will be fine. 3-hour flight. But yeah, we're almost here. And I'm pretty excited. So we'll check in later. So we made it here to BWI. Traveling tip. Probably going to do a traveling tip video. I did actually have someone reach out and ask about some tips from traveling, especially since I've been traveling a lot more. But one big thing, always park near your bus stop. Right there is my truck. Okay? Always park near there. The reason is a lot of activity continues to come through this area. So the bus comes every 5 to 10 minutes. So that means people, traffic, less likely that something's going to happen in your truck. Obviously, less of a walk. When you come back off your flight, you're super tired. You're lugging your carriage. In this case, I may come back with more than I brought. Whatever. It's right there. People are always coming in and leaving at the parking lot. So if you have the time, take the time to drive around, find the closest spot to there. Also, got to think about, you don't know what the weather's going to be like when you come back. It could be rainy, it could be snowy, it could be cold, super hot. You want the least amount of walking to your spot. Keep that in mind. Four-card lot. Guerrero Auto out of 99. Sam Howell Auto out of 50. And 2 liquid PSA 10s. 2 best quarterbacks. Just picked up 3 cards. Sam Howell rookie auto to 50. Kenny Pickett to 149. And another Howell to 99. Alright, first deal of the day. It's not even open to general pop yet, so lot going out. Sam Howell 10. Chase 10. Sauce Gardner. This is like a pop 4. Green Mosaics, Howell, base, Chase, that's low pop too, Orange Pickens, Drake London, Burks Auto, another auto, taking all the good stuff. Sneaky pick Elijah Moore, going to be a stud this year, and the short print out of 35. Back-to-back deals already. Josh Jacobs out of 10. It's none online or nothing. He's getting a nice card here. Tony Pollard bronze auto. Chubb auto. Trayvon Walker auto. Sky Moore auto. Everybody's taking it. Even the Fitzpatrick auto is going. And then some little lower end. Cool patch on this. Haven't seen this anywhere. Some other little stuff. $10, $5 stuff here. Gonna have to buy very quickly. Wouldn't want to record, but I did just sell a DJ Moore playoff ticket auto and a Desmond Bain green PSA 10. It's starting to get a little bit busier. So far in 24 hours, the show has mostly been vendors walking around. This is the first time that I think like real general pop is going to be coming in, and I can't keep my cases full, so I'm actually a little nervous. Here's a look around. Got Hit Parade behind me and Card Games right next to me.